Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us here today on a Detoured Path, where we fully firmly believe that sometimes the only thing we all really need in life is just a little reroute. My name is Chelsea Marie Mauger, and I'll be your host here today and every day on a Detoured Path. So if you're finding yourself in need of a little reroute, are already meandering down that unforeseen pathway in life, or are just interested in possibly thinking about things a little bit differently, this could be the show for you. We will be sharing personal accounts, stories, and a variety of perspectives in order to help us all gain a greater sense of community and connectivity in this little thing we call life. Just a little disclaimer before we begin. Though we do try to keep a mostly G or PG rating here at a Detoured Path, we are discussing life, and life is not always G or PG rated. So if you are listening with any little itty-bitty tater tots present, that's just something to keep in mind. Chelsea, tell me a story. As I was sitting on the toilet, worrying and crying yet again, because there is no better place than the toilet to retreat to and cry, where people will generally not bother you and leave you in peace to do whatever it is in there that you need to do, I actually started to think about the words worry, to worry, and worried. What do they mean? I mean, really, what do they actually mean? What is their technical, dry, textbook definition meaning? And where exactly did they come from? What country? Where did they originate? What was their original meaning? Like any other high-quality product of my generation would, I turned to my trusty Google to upload any and all of the various versions and possible textual meanings of the words worry, to worry, and worried. In order to minimize a dissertation-length expose on the historical significance of the word worry, we shall sum it up as follows. There are many origins, but the ones that stick out the most are, and please no chastising for the multiple poor pronunciations that are about to go down, the Old English Ryan, W-Y-R-G-A-N, the Middle Dutch Worgen, W-O-R-G-H-E-N, and the Old High German Wurgen, W-U-R-G-E-N, which all mean to strangle. Throughout history, to strangle then led to seize by the throat or tear. In Old Norse, they used the word Virgil, which meant rope, and in Middle English, a different spelling of the word Ryan meant to slay, kill, or injure by biting and shaking the throat, as a wolf or dog would. What's interesting is that what they all have in common is a death of some kind. Our worrying, as in our modern-day version of worrying, literally stems from being slayed. We are slaying ourselves to death, and we are cutting off our own voices in doing so. Though actual literal strangling may be used as a tool in controlled settings to put people to sleep, it is a pretty well-recognized fact that the intent behind the word strangle is to kill someone. Why would we want to consistently participate in a practice that is killing us? We already know, historical definition aside, that worrying is not conducive to a healthy mental, emotional, or physical state. But yet, we still do it. Why is that? Why is it so gosh darn addictive? And if it's addictive, how do we stop? If it literally took hundreds of years for the word worrying to move away from strangling and evolve into the commonly known definitions of today, to fret, to dwell, to have anxiety or uncertainty over actual or potential problems that may or may not arise, how long is it going to take us to realize that by staying in this ineffective mental space, we are actually putting ourselves in a place that prevents any resolution from being found? No resolution means no conclusion. and then we stay there, stuck, forever and ever. Amen. What if we approached our problem or potential problems from a place of this is not even really a problem to begin with. This is not a threat. Life, I see you. You are trying to make a mockery of me. You are trying to make me a laughing stock in front of everyone. You are trying to lead me down a path where the words least resistance do not exist. Maybe the universe is like dogs. A great, big, giant dog. A dog that can smell fear. It senses our hesitation and therefore pokes and prods us further. A predator will only go after prey that makes it worth its while. We show no fear, and we give it no ammunition to feed upon. No food, and that warmonger worrying eventually dies off. From ashes to ashes and dust to dust, may that worrying wither, splinter, and rust. Thank you so much for your time and attention thus far. We just want to take a quick moment to recognize today's sponsor, Anchor, for providing a free platform for people like myself to get their podcast off the ground. With minimal complications and little to no previous technical know-how, Anchor makes the whole process pretty straightforward. Go to anchor.fm, that's ANCHOR.FM, or download the free Anchor app today to get started. With just the click of a button, you too can be heard on multiple platforms. Not too long ago, I moved back to Chicago for the third time. By not too long ago, I mean the plane landed, I got the keys to my new apartment, I worked 2 days with my previous employer, and then boom, may all the international shutdowns begin. Yes. She has excellent timing, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Refusing to want to give in to that little devil of a worrying that we just talked about, and being no stranger to the phrase, you've got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, girl, a verbal meditative affirmation of sorts resulted as a way to soothe my brain, aka a spoken word poem. She said she didn't want to live like this anymore. She wanted to rise, not feel like she was falling, spending life crawling on the floor. She wanted to keep her head held high for all those around her to see, so no one would or could question who she wanted to be. She told herself it didn't matter if she didn't feel good, great, or fine. She would straighten her back, lift up her neck, and readjust her spine. The world could be a vacuum for monsters to make you their prey. Only the gritty, scrappy, and creative help to keep that at bay. Life plays no favorites, though we forget that at times. What's mine is yours, and what's yours will also eventually be mine. To grip something and hold it and to grasp it to death seems complete utter nonsense, for it can't catch a breath. If I strangle your half, then you'll strangle mine, and then neither of our stories will end up just fine. May a gentle reminder help you get through the day, that only kindness and compassion may be just the best way. Resistance might just be a cautionary tale that your ship has come in and it's time to set sail. Why squander your talents, gifts, loves, and your truths? Follow your interests and passions for proof. I'll give you my half if you give me yours, and together we'll find we've both found our course. This is about the time when a whole glass bottle of glitter fell from my medicine cabinet and broke its entire contents into the bathroom sink. I took it as a sign that life was about to start raining gold. So, then I asked myself these 3 questions. 1. What do you want from life? 2. Why do you want it? And 3. What are you going to do to get yourself there? I repeat. What do you want from life? Why do you want it? And what are you going to do to get yourself there? And do you know what's funny? Do you know what she said? She said, I don't want to live my life with my head in the sand or my hands between my knees. I don't want to live my life complacent and living in mediocrity. I want to welcome change with an open hand, head, and heart, so I can dump all this luggage from my heavy life cart. I want to celebrate the things to come and the worlds that we'll share. I want to speed up time, then slow it down so I can stop and stare. I want to revel in the steps that we'll bound and the strides that we'll make. I want to live my life and I want to eat my own cake. If you want to join me, then here we go. Sometimes it's fast and sometimes it's slow. Even when you think the gears have come to a rest, first rule of thumb is always to trust. 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 So, self. Higher version of self. Highest version of self. You're expecting me to believe that there's a reason why trust is spelled Trust, as if the word us was meant to be part of the word, as in it was meant to be smack dab standing center stage in the word. And when we, as in you and me, don't work together as a team, that is when we begin to, quote, unquote, rust over. Interesting. Okay. Life. I see you. No, I see you. You will push me and prod me and help me grab hold of this future inside me that is meant to unfold. Frustration and plaguing will soon step aside. Pay attention, you'll guide me. Will I abide? A path is in motion. The steps are in place. I'll leave room and you'll enter. Oh, hello. Your grace. Everything in life is an opportunity to be and do something new. Who do you want to be? And who will you be? We don't have to be great to start, but we do have to start to be great. And friends, I believe that is all we have time for today. If you would like to leave a comment or message, feel free to do so by clicking on that message button located on your screen. Leave a review and or rating if you liked what you heard, and hit subscribe to get all the latest updates and podcast information. And as always, if you would like to help support a Detoured Path, you can do so by clicking on that support button. Your generous contributions will help to continue the workflow, volume, and frequency of a Detoured Path, so that we can continue to flood your airways on a more regular basis. And in the meantime, if you're looking for more thoughts, stories, and insights while you are waiting for the next episode of A Detoured Path to come out, you can look for the book Short Girl Diaries, Unedited and Grammatically Incorrect by Chelsea Marie Mauger. Last name is spelled capital M-A-U-G as in good, E-R as in red, which is available on Amazon in both print and Kindle formats, as well as through the Kindle Unlimited program, where you can read pages for free. So, until next time, my name is Chelsea Marie Mauger, and you've been listening to A Detoured Path, where we firmly believe that sometimes the only thing we all really need in life is just a little reroute.